welcome to the program. We have our studio audience to hear, and I'd like to extend a warm welcome to them also tonight.
Hi, everyone.
Hi, everyone. Thanks for coming. My name is Levi, this is Christina, and we'll be your hosts as we take you through the fishbowl this evening. Joining us in the studio is Chantal, welcome.
Hello. Hi.
And we also have Burger.
G'day, how you doing?
Good.
Why the name Burger, can I ask?
Oh, well, my first name's Tim, but I don't really respond to that. But my last name's Leuenberger, and I sort of, abbreviate as Burger, and it sort of works.
We should really introduce our fish as well, because they're feeling a little...
We should. Esmeralda.
Freddie and Esmeralda,
Freddie.
welcome.
Cool names. Very cool names.
Tonight we'll be discussing service and how service relates to the Christian life.
Yep.
First, we'll take a look at what Pastor Buell has to say.
I want to talk to you about service. Martin Luther King Jr. said this: everybody can be great because everybody can serve. You don't really need unbelievable talents to make a difference in people's lives. Service is, somebody said, is the price we pay for the space that we occupy. I like that statement. I think the reason there's so much boredom in the world is people just have no direction. When you actually invest time and effort and energy in somebody else's lives, it makes a difference in your own life. You can't give without receiving. You just can't do it. When you give to somebody who's in desperate need, man, you feel something inside of you. And when you think about the parable that Jesus told about the talents, taking those talents and investing them, they're multiplied over and over and over again. Let me tell you about service at Union College. Union College in Lincoln, Nebraska is probably in North America one of the premier colleges for service. We are. Last week, over 800 of our students showed up on Thursday to do Project Impact. And that Project Impact takes into consideration 51 agencies that are nonprofit. And then our students go into the community and they make a difference. They do counseling for pregnant teens. They do painting. They do tutoring at schools. They do rake leafing, snow shoveling. This is the thing that continues on all through the year. There are students that go out as student missionaries, students that go out with certain mission trips and mission organizations. Those are just a couple of things that you can do. What about the people that live next door to you? What about the people that are down the street? Do you ever stop to realize what those people might need? Have you ever stopped and knocked on their door and said, "Hey, my name is Buell, excited about meeting you. Do you have anything that I can do?" One of the greatest examples that I ever heard about this was a small town Seventh-day Adventist plumber who was tired of the fact that his church was going nowhere. He took his tools after Sabbath each week, ate his lunch at home, changed his clothes, took his tools, and went door to door asking the question, "Do you need anything done? Do you need any plumbing done?" They said, "I can't afford it." He said, "It's okay. It's my gift to you on God's Sabbath." Our service is a gift. Everybody can serve.
Wow. So everybody can be great because everybody can serve.
I like that quote.
That's really cool.
That's my favorite.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Yeah, no, I just think God gives us, gifts and abilities to do different things. Like, I just love it with Moses, how he's, he doesn't have much in his hands at all. And God says, "What is in your hands?" And he has a staff, and God uses that. So I think, definitely God uses what we have to help him, to work,
Absolutely.
And
we had another program actually where he talked about
Yeah.
God taking the mundane and making it majestic.
Yeah, exactly.
Comes into service.
Yeah, how many times throughout the Bible do we see just simple things being used,
But that's the thing is that
That's
you
the thing with
don't,
us, though.
you don't have to be the greatest, or you don't have to have the biggest amount to offer, but God takes what you have and He uses it to glorify.
So I don't have to be the next Mother Teresa to go help.
Well, yeah, no, you don't, definitely.
I don't think you can fit in her sorry right
No, not at all.
She did an amazing job. Like I've read about her
Yeah.
life and it was incredible. But I think that we can have a crazy impact that people don't even know about. Like there's other people just like Mother Teresa that haven't had the publicity that do incredible work as well. And I think that's
Some people are discouraged because, I don't lead this like big life. I don't travel. I don't do all these mission trips. But I mean, there are simple things that you can do here and now.
no, absolutely.
You know, and like what kind of things can you do?
Well, I think just like definitely serving in your church, like in your local church, and you know, just doing what you can. And like, I love it that being a servant, having a servant heart, is not about what, like, I've just got a quote here. It's like not what I can do for God, but what God can do through me. And I think that's that. You know, when you have that attitude, it's just really, you know, changes the way you think of servanthood. Like, you can serve in doing all things. And I was just thinking about the fish before, actually, because they're sitting there and it doesn't look like they're doing much. So I actually want to serve by feeding these fish. I'm going to feed these fish because
Please eat it, Freddie.
I think the real thing about service is it's not about what people see you doing, but it's what you do for God's eyes only.
Exactly.
You know, and really on that level.
It's definitely a case of, like you said, not doing things just to be seen, but like it's really what you're doing behind the scenes and who you are when no one's really looking that really matters.
There's a lady in my church. She's got a massive family. They've got like 8 children. And she's just one of those people with a warm heart. You know the kind. I think almost every church has one. Everyone's always staying at her place. She's always inviting people home for lunch, and it's just she loves to do it. Like you say, can I help with the dishes? No, I'll do it later. It's just like, and that is service that goes sometimes unnoticed, but it's one of the greatest forms of service. Exactly, because it can make so many people feel so special.
Like in one of our last episodes about being there to lift people up. A simple thing, that's a service. Putting a smile on someone's face, you know.
Like I love saying, put a smile on your dial. Like in basketball, we're playing basketball, and I think even just little positive things that you can say to people, you know, is really just to you know, encourage them. And like serving is also encouraging as well, which is also important.
Definitely.
And like I was just thinking about it before, like service and obedience go hand in hand together. Like just going with what God says. And I think that, you know, definitely as I know Chantel's done a lot of mission work and stuff, and so have I. And it definitely like being obedient to what God says really, you know, is just. You know.
It's the only
Hold it
way.
right there. One sec, keep that thought because we'll be back after the break.
Welcome back to the show. We've been discussing Christian service, and Berger mentioned that he had done some mission work overseas, and that Chantel had also. Chantel, can you tell us a little bit about what you've been involved in?
Yeah, definitely. Obedience is definitely the key word there. God definitely uses anyone that is willing and just takes them, and the things that you can do when you're just willing to give your service to God, it just amazes me. I've been on 3 trips. All 3 trips have been over to Thailand. Something about the country, I don't know.
It's a beautiful place.
It is. It's a beautiful place. But the thing that grabs me each time is not what everyone else sees. It's those villages that have no running water. It's those villages that don't have what we have, and that's what keeps on grabbing me each time I've been back there. A new place, a new project.
I actually went to India in 2005.
Yeah.
And it really does something for your own personal relationship with God as well, because you see people that have less, they have a closer connection with God, it seems. Like just seeing little children from an orphanage and they're singing.
Maybe it's less distraction.
Exactly.
Maybe it's less
Yeah,
distraction.
less distractions. That's part of it.
Exactly. Like we can, like materialism is so common in where we live, but over there they just don't have anything. like when I was over in, like I was just recently in Vanuatu and working in villages there, and just seeing these kids. You know, one of the villages we went to, we were the first ever white people to go there, and like that was just like whoa, okay. And seeing, you know, just being there, and as we're saying, you know, obedience and everything, and you know, doing what God wants us to do. Like there wasn't an audience there at all. It was just sowing into these families' lives and these kids, and like we were doing balloon hats and you know, like bubbles and
I'm sure both you guys find, as I have in my my mission adventures, that it's amazing what it does to yourself. Not only it blesses other people, but it's such a blessing to yourself.
Well, you go there with your servant heart, fully wanting to allow God to bless those people.
Yes, yeah.
But I think the thing where people get mistaken is you end up getting blessed doubly. Just you know, it's not just about
it's
blessing.
so nice that you've gone over and done all this stuff, but it's like, oh well, it's almost like you did it for yourself as well.
That's I was just going to say that's a big kind of issue as well today is the reasons why we do service. Is it because the end result, you want to go to heaven kind of thing? Like, for instance, you know, I have a health problem. I take this disgusting medication, okay? I have to drink this disgusting medication. But I take it because the alternative is getting worse, getting sicker. And I guess it's important to know what the reasons are, and is it truly, like, is it for God, or is it for kind of for us?
Yeah, that's
you know?
interesting.
I've got a text that I can use just for that out of Ephesians 6, and it's just so right about what you're saying about, you know, don't do it for what people think, but what God thinks. And it just says, servants, respectfully obey your earthly masters, but always with an eye to obeying the real master, which is Christ. Don't just do what you have to get by, but do it heartedly, you know, as Christ's servants, doing what God wants you to do. And I love this bit. And work with a smile on your face, always keeping in mind that no matter who's given the orders, you're ultimately serving God.
Yes.
And I think, you know, definitely having
Do you
that.
think that there's potential for some people to go, oh, mission trip, yes, I'm going, I get to go overseas.
But it definitely, you know,
We get to stay in some really nice hotels.
Tell you what, we were living in these little bungalow things with, you know, no water. It took us, you know, half an hour to walk to get the water down this muddy slope, and where you're washing, and you know, you're swimming where you're washing, and you come back more dirty than you were when you went there.
And I had to bathe with a bucket of water tipping it over me. I mean, that's enticing.
Do you find that you feel enriched by those experiences though? As if,
Yes.
Definitely.
Yeah.
You come back so changed, just knowing what's going on over there, and then seeing here, it's like, wow, what can I do with what I have in our hands, what I have now, what can I do to change over there?
What gets me though is how more than like the majority of the world's population actually live like that. And you think that everyone's like us. You're like, oh, we live in the West, we're like more affluent or whatever. And then you're like, wow, 90% of the world lives like this.
And you know what makes it even more, like, I suppose in a way touching for me, seeing that is like they don't know any better. Like living the way they do is like, that's the way they live. And with us, when we go in serving, we don't want to go in and change what they do. We just want to go and help them to just help them the way they're living.
Help
you know,
themselves.
like just giving them that extra water.
That's part. I'm studying international development, and it's basically helping people to help themselves. We're not there to change them, but there's that quote that you give a man a fish and you'll feed him for a day, and teach a man to fish and you feed him for a lifetime. How true is that?
That's so true. Yeah.
No, just on what you were saying just before, I heard someone once say that, you know, in a way, we have absolutely everything, and the people that we're serving have next to nothing. But in actual fact, it's the other way round. You know, they have absolutely everything, and we are the ones that have nothing. We live in a world where we have pretty much anything that we want at our ready, you know, but they don't have a lot, yet they are so happy with what they've got.
I know exactly
The
what
fact
you're
that
saying.
they're surviving, it's kind of they have the necessities to live.
Well, we have a lot of material possessions, but really, what are they? I actually saw a T-shirt the other day that said, "Save the planet. It's where I store all my stuff."
Yeah, hold on. We're just going to a commercial break. We'll be right back after this.
That's our job. We'll be right back.
It is a welcome back. Is that okay that we can get our jobs back?
We're allowed to say that now.
Okay, you can. You're the host. I'll leave it to you guys.
Because I was actually saying something before.
The fish were a bit angry.
I was just,
Really, you know,
the
out
fish.
of the bowl.
Exactly.
Safety first, guys. Safety.
Yeah, I was saying something about the planet, right? And we're so consumerist. I don't know if that's the right word.
Yep.
Consumerism.
It is now.
Consumerism. We're so into consumerism that we're like, I saw a shirt that said, save the planet, it's where I store all my stuff. I mean, it shows where the focus is.
Yeah.
We're always focused on what do we want to do with all our stuff. And it's true though. Do you guys ever notice that you're like, oh, I can't wait till I get this thing, you know?
Well,
all the time.
It's so easy in this society to just be so materialistic, like, you know, go back and, you know, play on my Xbox or something. And, you know, like when we know that over the other side of the world there's like someone who, you know, we'll go play with our soccer ball for the every day, all day, you know. And that was you know, they love doing that.
For sure.
Like,
And this world, it promotes it because, you know, technology is always changing, and it's always like, oh, you know, a year later, my stuff is old, I have to get the next one and the next one.
In a year, not much has changed. We've got maybe got a tree that's grown a bit more, you know, like when you look at it like that.
They're still playing with the same soccer ball.
Yeah, no, but I know, like, we go over there and we see what's there, and, you know, as we were saying before, we don't want to change what they've got, we just want to, you know, bring God into their lives, and then God can do the work.
Yep.
You know?
And it's funny how jealous we can be of them. I mean, I did work in Nepal. I was developing a women's health program, and I mean, I spent some time in an orphanage, and I mean, you know, they did have the same soccer ball, and they'd like repatched it, and it was, you know, it was like filled with sand, and you don't want to kick that, I tell you. And basically, it was, you know, the quiet silence times when, especially when electricity would go out, the darkness, you know. But how much fun you can have.
Oh, I know, like when we're over there, we do these songs, you know, I'll jump with fire and run. Like they danced and sung all night long just to God. Like we were thinking, oh yeah, church service will go for like an hour or so, but like 3 hours later, we're still awake and jumping.
Yeah,
you know?
it's so good though, like experiencing something like that. It's just the joy,
it's
just it just overflows from them.
And also going to different villages I went to, you know, different religions, Hindus, and you know, and it's a learning experience for you as well, because they can be just as passionate as we can, and it's learning about them and feeding off of each other, because there's good aspects to everything.
So overseas service is one thing, right?
Yeah.
But what about the idea that we've got so much need here at home?
Yeah, that's right.
Here in Australia, we have need.
Yeah.
In
So
Western
everyone
countries,
talks
there's
about
still
leaving,
need.
going away.
Yeah, well, I think there's, you know, we have a lot of things around here, like called His Tools, which is a great thing at college that we do, and like they're just working in communities, going down and just helping people in our backyard, you know. And I think that's, you know, just, and we may think of, you know, I used to clean toilets in the dorm, and you know, like I always have that, I'd always have that attitude of serving, you know, serving the guys, you know, in the dorm, and like I think no matter what you're doing, as long as you're doing it with a servant heart and thinking not of yourself, out of what reward I can get, but what I can give, I think then that, you know, is awesome.
I've got a bunch of friends who are doing a service project at the moment where they're serving breakfast to homeless students at a public school.
Yeah.
And that's just an example of small things that you can do. It doesn't take much time from us, but it means the world to other people.
Buell Fogg, he spoke about a plumber who he was a business job or something, and he was also a plumber, and he actually went to all the people on the street and just asked them, like, you know, is there anything wrong? Do you need some plumbing done or something, you know? And
a lot of people wouldn't take that for real these days because we're so
exactly.
into
But how
personal
cool
gain.
is that?
They would need something to give in
they'd be
return
like, oh,
to that.
Yeah.
Gotta give you something, but-
What's the catch? And that's what our world
Like,
today
no,
says,
you
you know?
can't just give me that for nothing.
And
It
we can
doesn't-
just go, well, it's just because we love you, you know?
Yeah.
And like, how good of an answer is that? Like, I love saying, you know, what can I do for you? And they're like, oh, well, you know, what do I have to do for you, you know?
That's true.
But,
We've done that as well. We had, like, when I was younger, we had the helpful club, you know, how obvious is that? But we went around and just asked for odd jobs, rake the leaves, you know. In Canada, it was like, you know, shovel the snow for 10 hours. And it was basically like, we had an old lady, she just cooked us, you know, some food or made some cakes, things like that. But I mean, you got to hear their story, and it's really community-based. It's amazing.
Absolutely. And it's so true what Jesus said. Like we've touched on it all night, basically. But it is more blessed to give than to receive. He said that time and time again in the Bible, and
No, there's definitely a lot of need just as much here as there is overseas. You know, and then you've even got things like Stormco. You know, a majority of the people at college these days are taking part in Stormcos and things like that.
Oh, Chantal, that
Can you
makes me-
explain Stormcat? What does that actually stand for?
Stormco actually stands for Service to Others Really Matter, and there's no other way to describe it. It's service in a nutshell.
Whoa.
It does really matter.
Chantal, you're going to share with us a bit of your journey.
Yeah, definitely.
Thank you.
I think at some stage in our lives, every one of us has actually questioned our own identity. We've questioned who we are, we've questioned what we're doing, what our purpose is here on earth. And when I was actually asked to share a bit about how God's reality has impacted my life, this is it. I thought, wow, I'm going to have to share this because it's just the most amazing thing that's hit me. As I said before, I've gone over to Thailand 3 times, and actually the second trip that I went on, I actually went to a refugee camp. This refugee camp was on the Thai-Burmese border. You've got a refugee camp, you've got 60,000 people in this refugee camp, and none of them have identification, none of them have papers, none of them have birth certificates, dumped in this little place because no government wants anything to do with them. And I think in a nutshell, that hit home for me. We have an identity, we have birth certificates, we have papers, we have it all. They don't. They don't have papers, they don't have any identification. The thing that hits home for me is there is only one person that can give us our identity. There's only one person that can give the people in Thailand their identity, and that's Jesus Christ. That's it, you know.
Thanks for sharing.
Yeah, thanks.
It's so true. Like, if there was one thing that I'd be able to want to tell to a new Christian would be that to find their identity in Christ. I mean, it's
And there's
huge.
only one person that you need to ask.
Yeah, exactly. Definitely.
That's right.
I think you add through all of the Fishbowl episodes, you've been the love has just been through all of them, and like, you know, and service
Well,
is
that's what
still
it's
the
all about,
same.
isn't it? I mean, God is love.
Yeah, exactly.
That sums it up. That sums it up.
That does sum it up well. And no, definitely. Just I suppose is what we've sort of been discussing tonight. You know, going through. You know, how is our heart right for serving? Like, what can we do for God? And
Well, thanks for your time, guys. Thanks, Tim, and thank you,
for joining
Chantel.
us.
It's been awesome having you on the
Sharing
program
has
tonight.
been
Thank you to the audience. You've been amazing. Thank you to Freddie and to Esmeralda.
Sorry.
I hope you're full. Yeah, they're full. Thank you for your service. Thank you for your little
I was serving them.
active service earlier on. That was great. For those of you watching on television, I hope you really enjoyed the program, and we will see you next time. Enjoy the music that we've got for you.
Beware the dogs, rattle the gate. No barking, I go in. The grass is tall, the weeds are thick, and my courage is thin. And I asked you to move where my song could be heard. And I'm here at this oaken door. Knock, knock, wait, wait, creak, creak. Old man, human, broken. I don't know you, I don't want to. Get off of my porch, get out of my front yard. You look too young for selling water purifiers. You look too old for selling candy bars. So speak up, kid, or get lost, kid. Sir, I'm not trying to sell you anything, 'cause what I've got is free. And I don't mean to waste your time, but it's worth eternity. Jesus is more to me. Jesus is most of me. I'm not sure that I follow, kid, but you've got my curiosity. I don't have time to listen now. A hockey game's going and my lawn needs mowed. But make sure, kid, to come back, kid. Open the gate. He seems hospitable today. Come in, don't mind the pets I made. Home fries and omelets. Have a seat, the table's set. And I asked you to move where my song could be heard. And I'm here at this old man's door. Beware the dogs, rattle the gate. No barking, I go in. The grass is tall, the weeds are thick, and my courage is thin. And I asked you to move where my song could be heard. And I'm here at this oaken door. Knock, knock, wait, wait, creak, creak. Oh,